Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn, your practical astrologer, and today we are talking about the new moon. It's on August 22nd. It's at 0 degrees of Virgo, and this new moon makes an inconjunct to Pluto, an inconjunct to Saturn, an inconjunct to Neptune, and a square to Uranus. And so all of that can help you feel inspired, but also very distracted. And so let's talk about a strategy that you can win with this energy. So this new moon forms a yod with Pluto on one side and Saturn and Neptune on the other side. And a yod is a configuration of two inconjuncts with a sextile. And the sextile is the secret sauce for making a yod work. And that is the sextile between Pluto and Saturn and Neptune. And so in very practical terms, what this means is that you're going to want to take something apart and then discard the broken pieces or change something and then put it back together in a new way. So right now, the solution to whatever problem you're trying to solve, whether that is with a decision, a routine, something about your work or a relationship, comes when you disassemble either how you got to this place or the building blocks that you use to say these are absolutes that have to happen to make this happen. When you take all of that apart and you lay it out in front of you, it becomes obvious what part is not working and you have a breakthrough. Now, all of that's pretty straightforward, but there is a problem with this chart, and that is the square to Uranus. And so with this square to the new moon, it's like there's something on the corner of your eye, and it's jumping up and down trying to get your attention. And so there's some sort of distraction. And that because it's a square, that's a fight. A fight is a situation where you could win or you could lose. And the thing that is at stake is your attention. So, but I'm going to tell you how to win with this energy, and that is because Uranus makes a trine to Pluto and a sextile to Saturn and Neptune. So when that little jumping thing starts to distract you, turn and give it your full attention and ask yourself, why is this thing trying to get my attention? What is compelling me to watch this video or listen to this podcast or talk to this person? Or how does this relate to what I am working on at this moment? You see, this new moon could give you vital information on the problem that you're working on, and it could come from some out-of-the-way source and that you would normally call a distraction that actually turns out to be the answer. And if you would like to know more about what's ahead for you in 2025 and 2026, I do readings. There's a link in the description. Okay, Sagittarius, this new moon, this bright 0 degree Virgo moon is really lighting up your chart and helping you if you need to get a new job, if you want a promotion, if you want to rise in the ranks, if you want your reputation to be very strong, if you want the boss to notice and appreciate what you're doing, this is the time for that. This is also a really good time to increase your reputation in general, and that would be that you may get more followers, more likes, more people watching your videos or looking at your posts. This is also a time where you may be considering a change of status, and that can mean that you're going from single to in a relationship, or maybe you're going the other direction and now you're going to be, single and fancy free. So there's some shifts happening and they are visible to the rest of us. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, you have really strong energy. Jupiter's making a square to Mars. And this is that when you step out the door, you have opportunities to meet new people. Someone who could be your next relationship could happen. This is a good time to go to parties, social events, connect with others, be seen out in the world, and that way you can connect with someone new. And then when it comes to existing love relationships, Mercury is making a semi-sextile to Jupiter, and that means that the smaller issues can be worked out. That it's sometimes when we have, when the relationship doesn't seem to be going smoothly, it's just the little things. And some of that is that, if we make a little adjustment here, a little bit adjustment there, then things just flow better. So this is something, I think new ideas are going to occur to you, better communication is going to happen, you're going to understand your partner better, all because of that you're paying attention to these details. Now, when it comes to your money, you pull money from Saturn, which is making an inconjunct to this new moon, which is elevated in your chart. And this says, ready or not, it's time to put stuff out into the world. You maybe been working on a business idea or your resume or something like that. It's time to let that loose into the world, start even doing a soft launch or doing something where you can get a little bit of feedback, because as you do, then you'll adjust. Then you can pivot. But right now, you can't in the laboratory figure out whether this is going to work in the wild. And so it's necessary now to put something you've been doing and working on out where people can see it. And yes, some people will judge it, but some people will give you some real help, and some people may come and just give you money. Now, when it comes to money from business or investments, the moon's making an inconjunct with Saturn, which means that the bottleneck is perhaps something that you're not wanting to do, something that feels like it's difficult or it's technical or it's something that is out of your comfort zone. And if you can just do that or delegate it or find a way to streamline it, the bottleneck is gone. And this may be something to do with the back office, or maybe there's an error that needs to be solved, or that you need to just sit down with your broker and go through the different ideas and options that there are. It's something perhaps that you've put off, and now if you do it, you can open up that stream of income that you're looking for. And then when it comes to money derived from career, so that would be a paycheck, it's very good energy. Venus is making a trine to Saturn. You have an opportunity to gain more money in your career over this next 2 weeks. This is also a time where you could get a promotion, you could get a new job, you could get transferred into a better situation, or you could get a better team. So there's some positive changes that can happen with your job. And so you want to be very watchful of those doors as they come up so that you can just slide right through. Okay, in the third section of this video, I have a couple of announcements, and then we're going to continue talking about finding the hidden money in your chart. So we are approaching September, and September this year is eclipse season, and eclipses are what cause people's lives to change. So this year, I'm giving a Zoom class on what this eclipse is all about. And so if you would like to know how it could affect your life and what eclipses mean in general, consider doing this class. This class is also going to be recorded if the time doesn't work out exactly for your schedule. And so there is a link in the description to register for this class. And then I wanted to let you know that the next New Month Wishes class is going to be on September 1st. There is a link to that class, to register for that class, in the description. And then all members of this channel get special access to deep dive astrology videos, feng shui videos, and also they get a playlist of the tutorials that we are doing in the third sections. So if you want to become a member, that join button is right by the subscribe button. So let's continue our discussion about finding the hidden money in your chart. And by the way, there is a video course on this topic. There's a link in the description. So last time we talked about the different money houses. I thought we would shift gears a little bit this time and talk about some of the planets. And specifically, I want to talk about Pluto, Jupiter, and the Sun. And so when Pluto and Jupiter are coming together and they are talking to one another, then you have ambition. When the Sun and Jupiter come together and talk to one another, then you have confidence. And when all three of these come together, you are unstoppable. Now, there are different ways that planets can talk to each other. There can be a communication happening in your natal chart, through your progressions, through transits, or through a derivative chart. But let's just first start with how planets do talk to each other, and that is through aspects. And so think of yourself at, say, a large party, and you can talk to people who are around you. But if you know someone well, you can actually communicate with that person clear across the room because you know each other. So through your gestures or facial expressions, you can get the message across. So that's what an aspect is. That's the two planets. They know each other, and so they are communicating with each other. And that means they can help each other or hinder each other, as the case may be. Now, planets talk to each other through degrees. That is the number with the little circle by it. The little circle means degrees. Now, in a natal chart, I give a 7-degree orb. Some astrologers do more, some astrologers do less. I find that 7 degrees works a lot. It works really, really well. And so that means that if you have a planet at, say, 15 degrees, that every planet in your chart that is between 8 degrees and 22 degrees is talking to that 15-degree planet. Now, they are all making different aspects depending on signs, but we're not going to think about that right now. We're just going to know that they are talking with each other. Now, there's 30 degrees in each sign, and there's 12 signs, and we number these degrees from 0 to 29. So if you had a planet at 0 degrees, it's talking to every planet in your chart that is from 0 to 7 degrees, but also going backwards, it talks to every planet that is from 23 degrees to 29 degrees. That section of planets, those planets are called an out of sign aspect, which I'm sure you've heard me mention on this channel before. And that is still an aspect. It's just a little harder to spot sometimes. So what are you looking for? Well, if Pluto is talking to your Jupiter, you have access to ambition. If Jupiter is talking to your Sun, you have access to confidence. And if Pluto and Jupiter are talking to your Sun, then you can become unstoppable. And for those of you who know some astrology, consider transits with a 1-degree orb, consider progress charts with a 1-degree orb, or consider derivative charts such as return charts with a 7-degree orb. And if you want to know for sure if you have these aspects in your chart, I can send you a PDF of your chart. Just send me a note, there's a link in the description, and add to your message that you want to know about Pluto and Jupiter. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. By the way, I do a weekly illustrated newsletter, and so if you like astrology and you love black cats, you're going to love this newsletter. The link is in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.